welcome everyone. This is the Eden on EOS first official meeting since we had our election back on the 8th of April, 2023. And we're just going to run through a little bit an agenda as per earlier notice. And you should see in front of you the draft agenda for now. And it's a short and sweet one. And base agenda is actually set by me and Mo. We are not yet formulated everything, but it's what we are kind of prioritizing at this stage, so we can have some discussion on it. Mo will basically lay out the plan, and like it was mentioned a little bit before I started recording, we are very much aligned, me and Mo, and that is nice and comfortable that way of working. So draft agenda for now is we're opening a meeting, which is done, and then approving the agenda. See the opening words. I'll say a word or two, Mo do the same, and also a little bit, what do we intend to do with the funds we are receiving as CDs? Then we get into the reputation part, and that's of course Mo's speciality. Also our thinking about future and very near future, working groups and also circles, and then if there's any other matters, if not, we just can have a more free discussion about other topics if we get time left over. Any questions on these particular things? And Mo, do you think it's okay too? Thanks.
From my end, it's fine. If there's any questions from anyone else.
If not, you don't know what's behind the single words. That's on purpose. That minimizes the waste of time explaining everything, because you'll get it when we get to the points. And also for next future meetings, I mean, every week we'll have it. So for coming Thursday, the way to try to get on the agenda with something you feel passionate about, besides communicating by other means, is open for, in our meeting group, basically put in request what you want to discuss, an agenda item. Me and, the CDs will go through the priorities according to our plans and similarly, so it might not mean you get in with your agenda item in that meeting, maybe a later meeting or in some other form. So with those words, there was no additions or changes, so I go into item 3. See the opening words, I've started already, including short word intended fund distribution. Okay, myself, I start with me. I'm very simple. As most of you know, I'm not a dev, I'm not a programmer. And but one thing I've always done, and also this time, round 1 and round 2, is I'm now devoting more or less full time. And for me, full time is more than 40 hours a week. So that means it takes away from other small jobs I do for my daily bread. And similarly, so I have said I will take out a monthly remuneration of about $2,000 equivalent in EOS every month. The balance that I hold is for further development inside Eden on EOS. And those are the kind of things we'll see what develops now forward. I mean, there are good projects that need some funding. There are also other work we want to do. So it's nothing specified at this stage. But basically, what I receive every month minus $2,000 US equivalent is what goes to development. And with that, I put over to Mo, short words in general and a bit about what you think about funding.
Well, in terms of short words, nothing much to say. There's nothing else to add. I'll just go straight into the funding. My plan is to dedicate the bulk of the funding towards the reputation system. We're waiting currently on processing the wireframing or what the UI will look like, so that we can get quotes for the development. Once we have that, I'll have more specifics on exactly what's going to go into the reputation system and what's going to go into the other expenses that are going to be dedicated to Eden. As of yet, I haven't specified any funding that I'm going to take personally. I haven't taken any funding prior to this for any other jobs when I was elected delegate. So it's all gone straight into Eden at this point. Depending on what happens with the quoting for the reputation system, I may or may not take something for myself, just depending on how that goes. My primary goal is to get Eden on EOS on its feet, and I'm willing to dedicate as much of the funding to that as need be. Having said that, I think we can go into the reputation part of it.
Actually, first, just is there anyone who want to ask any quick question just on the small intro and the funding part? If not, I don't think so. Okay, Mo, you continue with item 4, reputation.
For reputation, what we plan to do is start handing NTTs to retroactively once the system is on its feet. Hopefully, the MVP will be before this term is over. And we plan to hand NTTs and NFTs out to all of the members that have participated, all of the delegates that have shown up to the meetings, the current active delegates, because it's something that we should keep account of, and it should be valued into the future. When these delegates go into their next elections and people can see that they have actually participated in these meetings and they've been present, it'll help them get elected again, and they can have something to count on. So yeah, the idea is to try to elevate people's reputations starting from now. Even if the system isn't already functioning, we can take at least an account and retroactively go back and send these entities out to them. Was there anything else you'd like to add, Lenny?
Well, only that I see that as one of the instruments also for this community engagement I'm talking about. That possibly, we come to that later on, working group circles and similar, what we're thinking ahead on and needs to be discussed further. But you got to reward people who do it. Some people, not some people, of course, there should be also some funding for it and similar, but you should also have something on record that shows that you actually been active. Like you said, it's a reputation. But that way, 5-10 years down the track, it's easy to distinguish hardworking ones that deserve maybe some extra recognition in various connections and whatever. Anyone else have any questions to Mo, then particularly on the reputation system? Okay,
Jesse.
And also, I just mentioned, you're the first one from the floor. I just mentioned that try to keep it 2-3 minutes max. So similarly, I don't want to kind of, Okay, welcome, Jesse.
Hey, everyone. So just to clarify a few things in regards to the reputation system, the MVP you're talking about, Mo, that's the UI. Is that correct?
Ideally, yes.
Okay. So from what I understand, the system, at least the back end, is operational. And I feel like we should, as soon as possible, retroactively distribute some sort of NTT for some sort of action. And that's what, so there's a few options. I wrote about them in the summary that I made for the reputation system. So to me, like, the immediate next step should be, I think, and I guess this is a question more for Sachit, a list of EOS accounts that we want to distribute to. We already have the media file, which is Brandon Lovejoy's Space Monkey. If we had a list of EOS accounts, I guess that's non-trivial. Couldn't we just do that? And the reason why I think this should be super immediate is because, like Lenny, you were saying, that this could be a really good outreach mechanism to get old members activated again. And so I'm very interested in the practical next steps to get this first retroactive NTT distribution under our belt.
Absolutely. I think it's a question of prioritizing more than anything. That's why I mentioned the delegate badges and the meeting badges or NTTs coming afterwards. But ideally, the sooner that we can start doing this, the better. And I'm saying it retroactively as well, because we're kind of playing catch up with the whole idea of looking backwards and adjudicating NTTs to people for their actions. So, but yes, absolutely, agreed.
Hey, would you like to add something to it? Oh, sorry, Jesse.
No, I was just adding. Hi, everyone. So we can issue these entities individually, not in bulk right now, but it is possible. So like it wouldn't need a multi-sig or any like, those kind of things if you want to retroactively issue it. So basically, rather than saying no multisig, we'll need one multisig, and then in that multisig, an account can be authorized that, this account can issue SBTs for past contribution, made by elections or attending some meeting, and then that account can distribute the entities one by one. So not in bulk right now.
Can I just a clarification? When you say manually, not in bulk, let's say there's 100 accounts. Are you talking about 100 different transactions that you'd have to manually push?
Yes, that's right. Currently, yes, that's what we'll have to do. Yeah, I mean, we can like bulk, maybe, by the end of this MVP, I can kind of code up bulk so that, this thing kind of eases out.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or more from Mo on the reputation? So that is one of the priorities we're having and looking forward to try to engage. And you probably have heard me mention that I intend to actually address the bulk of the 500 members we have personally, one-to-one. Just a little bit fishing a bit, because there are golden nuggets there that would like to come back, but they kind of gave up on the way. And you want to show them progress, and we'll see how it develops. But NFTs and similar is a way to retroactively maybe pull back some of these people, just like Mo mentioned. If nothing further on this one, I see no hands up. Then next thing would be number 5, working groups. Mo, you want to take it away?
In terms of working groups, as we saw in the previous meeting, there are a series of delegates that all share common goals. We would like to start initiating these working groups where people can start working together on these goals and moving these things forward. So we hope to start organizing these throughout the coming week. Or by throughout the coming week, I mean within the coming week, this week that we're in. So hopefully we can all start getting in touch and seeing where we're each at and how much of our stated commitments or promises have been accomplished, and how we can work with each other to get the rest of it done together. These are going to be the working groups. So we have the Code of Conduct working group, the Bylaw working group, the Elections working group, the Dispute Resolution working group, community engagement. So that would include also the other Edens, the other language Edens. We should be reaching out to them and seeing where they're at. We have workshops that should be interesting as well, coming from Gabrielle. Those should be organized in terms of getting everyone engaged, not just the people here or the delegates here. And as well, something that also you guys might want to be might be interested in is reaching out to the wider community and incorporating them into the working groups. There's no reason why just delegates should be working on these things. So if there's any interest from the wider community, that would be great. Also a working group on structure and what exact objective we're trying to accomplish in Eden on EOS. So we have a variety of working groups that we should be getting organized, and people should be beginning to close in the circles and working more in a closer knit fashion, I would say. Anything else, Lenny, that you'd like to add?
Yeah, not really. It's kind of fitting in also in parallel with the circles. Any questions on this idea with the working groups and similar? If not, I mean, one thing one could mention, it sounds like, whoa, all these groups, where are we going to find the people? Well, that's the whole idea. We have to engage some of the, we know we had many active people through the terms, but where did they go to and why and similar? And they still have interest here and had projects on the way. So I think a bundle of them would be interested to actually come back now when hopefully we've been kind of synchronizing and I mean, all what we are doing now is based on what's been happening in the previous terms. People have done things. It's not that nothing has been done. There's been a lot of things done. Me and Mo, we are focusing now on synchronizing it all, putting it all together. And I think that might make quite a few come back over time. Hopefully it's clearly visible and make us very strong before the next election and be on top of everything. And then we just take it from there. Any further
Does anyone-
questions? Yeah, no.
I was going to ask you, does anyone else have any other questions regarding the working groups?
If
Okay.
not, why don't we then go to the next one? That would be number 6, circle.
In terms of circles, the idea is to, Lenny and I have put together a series of circles that we view as fundamental structure of Eden on EOS. They're the primary circles that will lead to its continued development and ability to impact the community and to stay afloat. So we're going to be issuing these what these circles are in the coming days, and we would hope that specific delegates would first and foremost be the leads. If so, please express interest in whatever circle that you feel you can best be part of, and these leads would then formulate or lead the circles that they would be the leaders in, adding members and whatnot and organizing themselves. One of the ideas for the way that these circles would function could be, and this is kind of still working with you guys all, so feel free to have any input. This is all still taking form, taking shape. Having them function in terms of fractals, for example, where fractals work, the fractally process, people would rate each other on how much they believe the other person has done and the value of the contributions that they've been putting forward within that circle. Lenny and I have discussed initially funding these circles, so it'll be coming out of our allocations. We're going to put aside some money to incentivize people to start joining the circles, getting paid for the work that they're doing, and being able to accomplish their objectives. So yeah, I think in terms of circles, if I'm not missing anything, Lenny?
And I just add 2 small items that, for instance, in this case also again, come in the NFTs and similarly for attendance and work and stuff. How, we don't know yet, but that's of course another one. You can show that you're actively evolving. Another very important bit is, as we probably, both me and Mo, might be almost sitting in every work group, every circle, but not as an active participant, except a few of them, more like a listener to know how it's going on. We might alternate or whatever, but we are looking for groups, not more than 6, not more than 6, 7 people per group to make it more productive, because when you start to expand it too much, that's not a good idea for this target we have, this objective with the groups and the circles. So just to add that, and is there any questions on anything on this? We are still early on it, but hopefully we'll start pull together very quickly already next week. We'll have things going. Thank you. Mo.
Let me also add that the idea is that these will be the official circles that are receiving direct funding from the chief delegates, and the what we hope that will transform into the future into the CapEx, I would assume, or OpEx buckets, where it's a specific allocation that's coming out of the treasury for these circles. Right now, Lenny and I are going to be funding them, of course, but in the future, we hope that it's an allocation from the treasury directly to keep the circles functioning, where what future chief delegates will be in charge of is deciding how much each circle will receive. That's kind of where the vision is going towards. So yeah, there's any other questions?
Vlad, you have something, come.
I think it's just a good idea that the delegates are deciding how much goes to the circles. Yeah. Like from the treasury, because the treasury is sitting there, but it could be utilized to build the structure and build the organization.
Yeah, the idea is going to the idea is still developing, but in details. But the idea, the general idea will be that there will be a budget for these, for the circles, for the structure, to maintain the structure of the organization.
But initially, it is funded by the CDs, and we haven't set an amount or anything like this. And that partly comes in for the working groups as well. I mean, we need these working groups to extend so we get more activity. We're only a few people at CDs. We can't achieve it all. So we have to listen in and what reviews are, and even sitting in on the meetings so we can discuss, me and Mo, how we feel it's fitting into the future of what we are trying to develop. And we only got 2.5 months left, and there's other pressures applied on us to really get something going and show the value of Eden on EOS, and that needs a lot of engagement. No.
We have Chris here. Chris Barnes is asking, is there a list of circles you've come up with, Mo and Lenny? There is
Quick
a list.
recap.
Here, let me go over it. These are the fundamental circles that we feel are absolutely necessary. Let's see if I can.
I'm
just wondering, are they listed? Oh, is it shared last week? Okay, sorry, I missed a link. That's all. I was just wondering if there was somewhere I could look at them.
And they are not firm or anything. We're just developing and kind of focusing, okay, what are the priorities first off? And then we'll see how it develops, because we need help from working groups too. Justifications for the way we're moving forward. We need other people's view as well, just to balance ourselves. Mo, over to you if you have something else.
Yeah, I was going to mention the specific circles.
Yes, do so. Do we have share screen? Do we need it? Or hang on.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Just to go over a top view of what they are, as they're not fixed yet. But we have communications or comms, media, where that will incorporate marketing and communications together at this point. So we would encourage everyone that's in the community that are content creators to join that circle and start interacting with each other in there. We have finance, administrative, elections. Those will be a joined group as well. The futurist group, and tech, which will deal with all of the technical problems. All the devs can join that group as well. Outside of that, if there's anyone else that has an idea of any other group that we should add, please feel free to, or circle, I'm sorry, to not confuse concepts.
Give a bit more meat.
Listen.
Oh, sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Give a bit more meat on particularly the one, the comms and media. And it's a very wide one. And one of the early works, and it's partly been started already, is to identify all the various sites around, and all that refers to Eden on EOS or Eden or similar. Eden on EOS in 2 different ways, split up 3 words or combined. There are a multitude of them, but it's a question also which ones are current, which ones are updated. And our thinking, we have a number of ideas there for the future, how to make it transparent in a better way for new people. I mean, even I can't find things at times. It takes half an hour to find it, which is not the way it should be. And because you have not indexed it, yourself. So that's a bit lazy, but you shouldn't have to. Users,
there's a lot
to be easy access. Mo.
There's a lot of work to get done in those terms of looking backwards and organizing all of the work that's already been done for the community. And just so that we can also point to it from the outside when dealing with others and showing them how productive Eden has been. That's been a huge failure on our part.
Any questions? We're going to go home early here soon, otherwise. Yes, Jesse.
If we don't have anything else to say, I don't have a question about specifically what you just talked about. So I can wait until the end, or is this a good time to bring that up?
We kind of ran out of agenda items except other matters, so please go ahead.
Okay.
And we can always come back to some item. Please, Jesse.
Okay, thank you. So this is about the going back to the reputation system. I was just DMing with Sachit these past 10 minutes. And so what we have right now is code that can distribute an NTT based on whether you voted in the election. So this is mostly already coded. It just only works for active elections. And Sachit can speak for himself, but he just told me that it would be relatively simple to code something so we can distribute NTTs based on prior elections. It would require an MSIG and a slight code change, but this is maybe the shortest route to get this first NTT under our belt.
Just to add to that, so that's the route, like if we want to issue SBTs in bulk. But if we are fine to issue it individually, then that we can kind of start issuing even sooner. No code changes needed, nothing else. Maybe a multi-sig is needed for that. So,
Excellent.
so yeah, that's
So Lenny, your outreach strategy, I mean, you were just saying earlier on this meeting that you said the word 500. We got 500 members, right? Well, I think this could narrow your search by past members who voted, and maybe that's half of that. So I think this would also help your outreach efforts.
You just saved me hours and hours. Hey, we have a thing over the matter. Any further comments or any other matters, or anyone want to address the reputation more? Otherwise, we can go and take a cup of coffee and break off early.
Adam's already got his.
Yeah, some people are smart. I do have a cup, but it's only water inside. I live off water. The floor is open. The floor is
Drew?
open. If anyone want to raise something.
Drew is saying voted and confirmed to be in the meeting by video, in his opinion. Yeah, because there were people that voted and didn't appear in the video.
Yeah, but we can't do that. We only have the functionality to just go voted.
Yeah, I can see the reason for the wording, because we have instances where no one have seen anyone and the vote came through. I think there are one or two of them. And,
let me take advantage now that the issue of videos and voting have come up to remind everyone to upload their videos from the last election. There have not been very many videos uploaded, or not enough, I guess. So something
Can
to keep
you
in mind.
double check the one that I uploaded earlier today? Because I was having some issues and it finally looked like it stuck, but I'm not really sure because there's no like real confirmation.
reach out. If I remember right from our election bot, doesn't that one, you can click there and get assistance on the uploading, or am I wrong? Might be worth checking the bot actually, and the communications there, because I think it hints to that. I hope I'm not lost completely. I myself actually have had some issues because the software I use to compress worked fine, beautiful. Handbrake, and similarly, and it get all done. It takes a bit of time, but it's all done. But the problem is it doesn't allow me to save it. I've done it on 2 different laptops and no luck. But I get the originals, original video recordings to those people that did it to actually work on it and upload. Somehow I got some kind of a spell over me. It doesn't want to work well when I'm going to upload. Any other comments?
Adam,
Yeah,
your video's fine, Adam. I just checked. It's there. And,
Okay, cool,
yeah,
yeah.
Lenny, yours is not.
I know one is up, but not the other.
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit for there, but I did compress it. If you just use an online compression, like any of the free ones, that seems to work fine. But yeah, can probably be improved a little bit because when you upload it, can you upload multiple videos? Is that the thing? Because it still shows the button for uploading the video as like the ability to do it. And so that's why I was confused, I guess. So maybe just remove the button if there's actually a video uploaded so people don't get confused.
Good point. Any other queries, comments, Patrick? You're welcome, Patrick.
Thank you. I just want to say that Luca has made a procedure for Edenia to put into the UI exactly the software to use to compress the video under 200 megabytes. And also that the upvote bot is sending the reminder 24 hours, 48 hours, so it's working. If you have not muted the bot, upvote bot, it's working like a charm. It's working, and the video cannot be uploaded during the round 1, the round 2. That's only uploadable after the rounds are finished. And the issue during the last election with the spinning wheel, that has more to do with querying smart contract atomic asset. They have watching the logs, and I have found some issue with that. So that was not about the video. The problem of the spinning wheel was not the video, as we were guessing or making some assumption, but that was not that. They have the logs, they have analyzed it. So what else? Cappuccino, popcorn, but I think it's good. Yeah.
Thank you. Patrick, you still have your hand up. But anyway, any other comments or words?
Yeah, so
Questions?
I just want to piggyback on top of that, and thank you, Patrick, for bringing that up. So this issue is obviously a very, very critical issue.
Yeah.
And apparently, so we had a meeting last week with James Mart of Fractally and the Adenia team, and these the avatars on the UI. So everyone has their avatars. That's actually your NFT on Atomic, and it makes more logical sense that this would be the issue because it's only happening in round 2. So there's rate limiting going on, and so hopefully this is it. We need to test it, but we have some issues testing 2 rounds. And so, yeah, that's kind of the update there. But we seem to have a good lead.
And
what we're waiting on is an offer from Edenia on how much the costs would be to make these adjustments.
I just want to benefit to say something of my last term. There was a cost that NS James and myself, we were not able to achieve because I have no more funds of my last election. I have used all the funds to send to the project that was needed, like the upvote bot and similar. So now, sorry, Lenny, that was not even thinking. So there is cost that we have not used, and that was for the bylaws on chain. That's cost 3,500 EOS, and I was committed to give the half, and NS James the half. Edenia is already developing the bylaws on chain. They have already developed with Leicester. So now if they ask me to pay, I have not the money for the moment. The induction script, we were meeting Jesse and myself, Edgar, on the March 30 about, about the induction script generated automatically, the induction script, and pushed on chain. And they will develop that also after the bylaw on chain. So there are 2 things that I was not able to pay. And the unclaimed funds going back to the treasury, that's thinking about minimum is 1 month, maximum is 3 months, and we have to play into this time. And there are people that are stating that maybe 1 month is not enough, 3 months is not enough. We should maybe do 6 months. Personally, I think that the unclaimed funds should go back to the treasury already. That's my opinion. After 1 election is finished, if the funds are not claimed, they should go back to the treasury, not wait 6 months. That would be too much. Just to mention to you, Mo and Lenny, where we were staying on the last term, there were some things going on and we need the funds. So that was that.
Before anyone comment further on that or ask, different views or whatever, finance is very important in the sense that, you know, I'm a businessman. I've been doing business all my life in various ways and similar, and keeping a track of where money goes and how it moves in a central location, so to say,
Yeah.
or for the leadership is very important. And you know, these kind of things, you know, that's needs to be organized a bit. We have a Spend Explorer, and it needs to be further improved. And there are a lot of things, so we got to get that on track as well, you know, so that we really know, do we owe anyone money? What is going on? You know, it's, and also like a handover Bible, a handover document for the next CD term and similar, because it's hanging a little bit loose now, so to say, between different CDs coming in, and that's not the way it should be. We should not have to start dig up, you know, who have what and whatever. But that's coming. It's working. People are giving information, but you got to know who to go to, and which one of the CD's previous terms, etc., etc. Okay. Anyone else want to say some comments? Mo?
No, that just drives the point further that we need to have that finance circle group functioning.
Correct.
Um,
We have another 13, 14 minutes until end of a meeting.
If then I would, if that's the case, let me just go to something else. Here I'm going to put the link in the chat for the summary for the last 2 years of everything that Eden has done. If anyone's interested or hasn't checked it out yet for the RFP system, yes, thank you, Patrick. So I'd encourage anyone here who has not checked it out to see what we're doing from that end. We've put that up on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, and we'll be closing it on the 25th. Shout out to Mel Pierce. Yes, he has put in a lot of elbow grease in getting that done after all the pressure I put on him. So I'm very appreciative that he went through with that. He'll also be putting out a Pomelo grant. So I encourage everyone here to also check that out and donate to him and see if we can also help him build out the this Fiverr-like job board for the EOS community as a whole, specifically for Eden to be able to leverage this Eden on EOS, the EOS community, the crypto community, and so on. It's going to be a central piece that's going to help the community connect here and be able to retain value within the community instead of paying outside, where it's going to end up diluting or losing value in the currency. So yeah.
Thanks, Mo. And I can add. Oh, sorry. Continue.
I was going to ask if you, Dan Singjoy has his hand up if you want, unless you have something else you want to say.
Everyone else is quiet. So Dan, your turn. Please speak.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Well, yeah, thanks, Lenny and Mo, for hosting this, and thanks for all the great work and discussion so far. One thing that I've just been thinking over the past couple of days, and maybe this is best to reach out in the Eden NFT group. Perhaps I'm happy to follow up there, but I figured while Jesse and everybody was here, I would just ask, I've been thinking it would be helpful if the Eden Fractal delegates could also have an NTT or an SVT that like expires after 4 weeks as well. And I was wondering if anybody thought that would be fairly simple to do with the work that's already been done with the Eden on EOS NTTs and SVTs as well, or if that would be very difficult to do, or any ideas about that?
Personally, I think that's fundamental. That's something incredibly important to have done, to value the work and contributions that the Eden Fractal members are doing, and seeing how we can allocate an SVT that can reflect the work being done there. So I don't know exactly which one it would be or how it would be valued, but yes.
So Dan, we could do a manual distribution to anyone or like in the Eden community. Like what we were talking about before is like we were saying it tied to the election because we want to do like more than I guess like 15 or 20 of them. But if there's like, you know, the Eden Fractal, 15 guys, right? 15, 20, someone would just have to just manually press the transaction for each one of those.
It should just be also a different type of SPT or NTT. It would be one that, for example, be a participatory entity for all the members that are participating in the Eden Fractal. So they would end up having their score and participation in the overall reputation system increase because they are participating actively in the community.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yeah, and then I think also in addition, having it specifically for the delegates too, because the delegates in Eden Fractal serve for 4 weeks. And as far as I understand, the SVTs that you currently have with the Eden elections expire after 3 months or 6 months, like that, or they don't anymore. Is that functionality available to have it where it expires, or have it where some sort of API or software can read like when it was given out to say it's been over 4 weeks or something like that?
I don't believe so right now.
Okay.
Not at the moment, but yeah, that's sort of planned down the road. And so when it worked for Eden on OS, it would be fairly simple to make it work for other communities. There will be a small setup step, and after that should be pretty straightforward.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. And then I suppose one last question. Do you have any idea about when that kind of functionality might be available? Or how much work it would take to do that?
I think so. We are going to meet this Tuesday. When I say we, like Mo and Jesse and me, and we have planned to kind of finalize the MVP, what all is going into MVP, and if means that only. So based on like whether this feature is included or not, like we'll see. We'll be able to see it like in next 3 months or next 2 months or next like 4 or 5 months. But this feature standalone is like, I think it's like a medium complexity, not very straightforward, but it is something like I've kind of figured out, at least in my head, like how we'll be able to do it. So the solution that kind of sort of I thought about is like it is based on the issuance date, not exactly on the issuance timestamp. So like it wouldn't really go down to the minutes and hours. Like if somebody was issued in, let's say 12 hour 15 minutes, it's going to expire exactly 4 weeks after that. It would be marked from date that if somebody is issued on 1st of January, it will get expired on 29th of January or something like that. Medium complexity. Let's see. I'll tag you on Eden NFT channel this Tuesday once we sort of discuss the details.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you very much, Sachit, and also Jesse and Mo too. Really appreciate it. And those meetings on Tuesdays, are those open for anybody to join in the Eden community? I remember those going on for a while. Am I able to join those meetings to learn more, or those private?
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Too much here. Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Please join.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan.
Marco, you have your hand up.
I do. I like the linking of the, can you hear me okay?
Linking to,
He said, can you hear him okay?
yeah, oh yeah, can hear you all right. A little bit fuzzy at the end, but that's okay.
I like the idea of linking the fractal to the quarterly election. I think a manual trial would be good for this term. And I think we should look at it as a bonus. So if you participated in both the election and the fractal, you qualify for an NFT. However, if you have not participated in this past quarterly election, no NFTs for the fractal. Encourage participation in both with the ultimate, and I was going to ask about the futurists because I think this would fall in there, and I think I could provide leadership there. How each one can offer unique benefits to what we're both trying to do, what the ultimate goal for improving EOS.
Well, in terms of the what is done in the Eden Fractal, I would view that more as in you just gain more NTTs and NFTs for doing what you do there, for participating there, because the overall view of the reputation system is that it's going to take into account different characteristics of how you participate in the EOS community. So, for example, if you're giving charity in Pomelo, what you'll receive is charity points. If you're giving if your time in the Eden Fractal, you might receive participation points, or depending on how I guess the Eden Fractal will have to be whitelisted as an organization in the reputation system, and they'll be able to issue NTTs corresponding to the kind of participation that you give there. So if you take a responsibility role in the Eden Fractal, you'll receive a responsibility NTT that will increase your overall responsibility score in the Eden community, or the Eden on EOS community. Well, both, honestly, in the Eden community.
No, I like what you're saying a lot. I mentioned trial period, I mentioned bonus to start out. Initially, starting out, security is a little different, or setup's a little different. And just because of what we've encountered in the past, I thought that would be an ideal setup for this term. And then at the end of the term, if it goes well, we have this positive thing, and this is how we move forward. But no, I love the ideal. I love the ideal of any contribution and then funneling it through. But then there has been issues of, well, who do we follow? Where is the leadership lie? Is it in the Genesis fractal? Then is it in the Eden fractal? Is it Eden on EOS? And sentiment turns. This way, sentiment won't turn. There's clearly defined. We have a proof of work, a proof of concept, and then at the end of the term, lay it out how we want them to move forward. But I was just thinking a bonus manual start. It's easy, and we can identify the best points and the weakest points of both. Yeah, so I know it's all work in progress.
Well, in my view, the reputation system is meant to scale throughout all of the communities, and just whitelist different organizations that are going to be able to issue their own types of entities that are going to be valued in specific ways that they define them as, be they reliability entity, or a charity entity, or a responsibility entity, or participation, or transparency. So depending on what kind of actions you take in that community, you will receive that kind of an entity. And not every community is going to be able to give all of the kinds of entities that you might want. So you'll have to participate in different communities to get different entities. For example, Pomelo isn't going to give you a responsibility entity because there's nothing for you to take responsibility over. But it might give you a charity entity because you donated, or it might give you a reliability entity because you completed the project and came back and showed that you did. So you'll be able to get different entities by different organizations, ideally. And all of those will whitelist and join the reputation system. That's the grand division. But right now, let's focus on the Eden on EOS and and Eden Fractal and all the smaller communities involved. I know there's interest from Pomelo in leveraging it as well.
I'll give it to Patrick. He have his hands up.
Just about the entities, non-transferable token, soulbound token. There are some platform in building, like Eden Fractal, we can say is always in building, and other platforms going on. That one just to see to check the existence of the SBT into the atomic asset table, and just see if for an EOS account there is an SBT. Like this, you can say, okay, it's a verified user. I trust him. He will come into my platform. That's for the SBT. And for the Pomelo, you can check also into the same table, atomic asset table, if there is a Pomelo NFT, not entity, NFT this time, and check if it is a top contributor that has donated, a great contributor on Pomelo. Like this, you can say, okay, this user is someone that is very collaborative at the layer economical. And like this, you know that when you onboard someone into your platform, first is if he has a soulbound token, that's the cool part. He was voting on Eden on EOS. And if he is also in Pomelo, nice. And if it is not, you can maybe try to reach out to him and making some check manually and using an MSIG to say, okay, if this guy is really, this user is really trustworthy. But first check Eden on EOS for an SBT and check Pomelo, that's great in conjunction. So before to give SBT to someone, we can also check if he has already. Like this, we onboard verified user in a platform like Hidden Fatal. We want unique individuals. We don't want to have a bot. So just to say, nice feature, the SBT. Just
Thank you. We have actually 1900 UTC, but we gave 5 minutes extra time in the beginning, so we could kind of run another 5. So any last comments or anyone? I know Gabriel, we actually ran through the agenda already. We're on the end note now. But 5 minutes, I keep it open 5 minutes more, then we make it a 1 hour session in discussion. Anyone want to mention something, or we pull the plug?
don't miss the video of the CDs after this one into the meeting topic, Telegram.
The interviews,
the interview of yesterday of Lenny and Mo. That was nice.
And I could also add, some of you might have heard about it. This is something that we did early on for inductions in Eden on EOS, and we also used it in Vigor DAC. I was active there before this Eden on EOS. And that is actually to have open mic regularly. And since I'm sitting in front of laptops and at my desk most of awake time, I will have 2 times a day, Monday to Friday, morning and evening, my time. So that, you know, just leave it as an open mic in EOS community, in our Eden on EOS community on Telegram. You just leave it open 30 minutes on set times. I will finalize the times. But the idea is that if anyone want to complain, anyone want to do whatever, and it'll be inside Eden community only, then you can come on board and put it forward to me or whoever is there. So there can be a little bit chance to discuss straight up to the top. Don't have to go roundabout way, formal meetings and similar. It's just a way of getting help or getting assistance or guidance or discuss other things they react to. But that will be, and I mean, it's a little bit like I did open up today before this election, but that was not scheduled one. But that will come. So that will be something that hopefully also will make it more accessible for potentially people who come back. Any final words by anyone else? Yes, Mo.
No, I just wanted to point to Marcos and ask him if he mentioned what he wanted to say at the beginning. He had some comments before we run out of time.
No, so we covered it.
Okay.
I just want to know more about the futures, what was intended with that. But I'll read the write-up.
In terms of that, I wanted to say that, yeah, for everyone that's that caught it from the beginning, we are going to issue these circles, and hopefully if you guys think of anything that you would like to add or contribute in that aspect and through the coming week, feel free to reach out and we can keep discussing. The meeting is not over.
It's a continuous meeting. It just happens that we collect ourselves as those that have a time and the interest in these kind of meetings. The work is, of course, throughout the week in Telegram and elsewhere. It's just a continuous long meeting, 3 months long. If nothing else, yes, Patrick, you have a physical hand up.
I just want to say thank you very much, Lenny, for the time that you are taking during the day to answer to people. That's just amazing. And shout out for that. And Mo, shout out for the structure and those meetings like now. That's the second one. And I enjoy to be there and to do what I can. Also, if I am not a chief delegate or a delegate level 1, that's the beauty. Thank you very much for what you are doing. And thank you everyone to join here. That's great. We need more people for sure.
Yes, thank you all for coming.
Yeah, I just want to add there also, because of course we had a format for the meeting that, all right, so and so with speaking privileges and similarly. Well, when we're a small group like this, you can be flexible. This is not supposed to be a hard regime or anything. If we turn into double or triple this level of people or amount of people, then it's a different story. So, you know, it's with a kind hand on the till, so to say, steering the ship forward, hope. Any final word from anyone? If not, Mo, you want to say something in the end?
If anything, just to point out that we have people like Brian who was looking forward to the working groups, and Vlad that is happy with the structured meeting. Apart from that, let's keep it moving, keep the momentum going, and let's get stuff done.
And you know how we close this meeting?
Yeah, I was about to come to that. Let Patrick now get his energy out because
Yeah. You know how we close that?
Short and sweet.
You don't know how we close that? So at 3, 2, 1, 0, we will say in chorus, go Idononios with all our heart, soul, and mind. But you have to raise your hand. Are you ready? So now I do the countdown. And I am Pat Nova Joy. Now, not Pat Nova Bat. So 3, 2, 1, 0, and go Idononios!
Go Idononios.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, thanks for the great meeting, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We see each
So-
other.
Bye-bye.
Well, we see each other many times, but this way next week, Thursday. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Take care all.